Alright. And after the game, let's go after the box score for the highlights. And the stat lines aren't going to be pretty, but any win you can walk away from is a good one. So we're going to see Damon Winter for the Miners. 20 of 32, 195 yards, 62% completion, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Just making some good plays all game long. But you can see the QB rating, not great. Kiefer Byrne, 22 of 34, 183 yards, 64% completion, 1 touchdown, and 1 critical interception. And that almost cost them the football game right there, but he was able to engineer a drive very late in the game, a key reception by who other than Perry Wood. On the ground game, Dalton Triplett had himself a game, another 100-yard game back-to-back. 21 carries, 101 yards, 4.8 a carry. He was crucial. No touchdowns, no fumbles. Jerron Hepburn, he had a decent game in limited carries. 14 for 57, 4 yards a carry. Tyson Kerr, the backup running back for the Sentinels, 40 yards on 10 carries. He had some key first downs, and more importantly for him, no fumbles. Now this was the curious thing. Damon Winter is not known as a rushing quarterback, but he carried the ball several times. One time it turned out very well for him in particular, when it was first down or third down and 7 at the goal line. He kept it himself for a touchdown. But here you see a critical fumble late in the game that did turn to points for the Sentinels. Our backup Aldridge didn't have much luck. See Keith Byrne, those were the kneel downs, and Stackhouse got a carry for -1 yard. On the receiving end, there was not a whole lot of receiving yards to talk about, but when we're talking about the man and the play of the game, Perry Wood and his long touchdown reception of 33 yards. He just went up in the air, out of the slot, plucked it out of the air, beat the defenders downfield, ran through a couple of tackles into the end zone, and scored the go-ahead touchdown, which would end up being the game winner. Did have one key drop, though, which is uncharacteristic for him. For the Miners, they had two guys. Well, they had Caldwell, their starting tight end, with great hands, 7 for 49. See, Dalton Triplett got a lot of catches out of the backfield, 7 for 42. Casey Flynn, early on, was winning the battle with Aaron Kershaw, but as the game went on, Kershaw had his number and shut him down completely, 6 for 52. Mick McCarthy, 5 for 31, had some key catches there. Jerron Hepburn had a great run-after-catch on a screenplay, 3 for 68. Sean Newton, 2 for 13. Donnell White, 2 for 19, so well short of his dev trait upgrade, and no touchdowns. Callahan had a catch. Jordan Gales and Ronell Battles had one, and that key drop at the end zone, which I thought was going to cost them the game. In the blocking category, it was not pretty for the Sentinels, who had been keeping Kiefer Byrne pretty clean, but as you can see here, Matthew Hardy struggled from his left guard position, letting up a sack. Barry Levin for the Miners had equally as big a problem. Caldwell let up a sack, Callahan for the Miners, and then Shaquem Wagner, the rookie, let up a sack. Defensively speaking, it's going to be a good day for the defenses. They both had good days. Jadarius Edwards led everyone on the Miners with 14 tackles, 2 for loss. He had a sack. You see London Bates there with 11 tackles, 3 for a loss. Pass defense, 2 for Edwards, none for Bates. Courtney Cochran was all over the field. 9 tackles, 1 for a loss, and a pass deflected. Kirby King, their other excellent corner, 9 tackles. See LaMarcus Blades, 8 tackles, 1 for a loss. Did he have anything? And a pass defended. Tim Gentry, the middle linebacker, 8 tackles, 1 for a loss. We're going to hear that a lot. And a pass defended. Nate Youngblood, 8 tackles, 1 for a loss. Ralph Pierce, 7, 1 for a loss. Isaac Capers, the D tackle, 7 tackles, 1 sack. Aaron Kershaw, 6 tackles, and a lot of passes defended. 3 more on the season for him. Stewart, who was taken out of his rush edge position, came up with a big sack. 5 tackles and a sack. Taj Boswell, 5 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss. A big interception for a 44-yard pick 6. Deshaun Hickson, 5 tackles. Eric Judge, 4 Tanner Malone with his first sack in a while, and a big one. It was a safety, which led to 2 points, and the ability for the Sentinels to come back, score that touchdown, get the lead, and the win. 4 tackles, 1 for a loss, 1 sack. Zaire Witherspoon with a pass defended, 4 tackles. Vernon Hunt from the edge position, he got a sack and a tackle for a loss, 4 tackles total. See Christopher Moores, he had a sack and a tackle for a loss. Sheldon Bates, 1 tackle for a loss. Julius Lamb had that big forced fumble. Now that was Vernon Hunt who had the big... Yeah, that's right. Julius Lamb had one we thought was going to be game changer, and it got overturned. See Thurston, 3, Callahan, 3, Barnhart, 2, Easton, 2, James Chris, 2, Connor Battles, 2, Livingston, 2, Glover, Patton all with 2, Blanton, 2 with 1 tackle for a loss. I think he had pass defended. That's why I was looking. Durham, 2, Lennox Steven, the rookie free agent, came in and got a sack. Pretty productive there. Chacon Wild, Sears, Barker, Ramsey, Proctor had a tackle for a loss in his only play. Alton Cross and Hepburn in the kicking end, and this was tragic. Madison Kruger had a chance to win it with what looked like a chip shot field goal. The Sentinels iced him right before the kick, and maybe that made the difference. He's not known for having a great leg. He was perfect on his extra points, but when it came down to the wire, he missed that field goal of what was between 40 and 48 yards, 49 yards. He missed one. Wes McGuire, on the other hand, was perfect, and guess what, folks? He did make that 50-yard field goal, so now he's 3 of 13. So improvement there for Wes McGuire, who, let's not knock on him too hard. His field goals kept his team in the game when they were not scoring touchdowns. On the punting end, lots of punts, 6 for each team, nearly identical numbers between Cummins and Parsons. Both had 1 inside the 20. Kick returning, Aldridge had himself a pretty good day. 2 for 52. Tyson Kerr 3 for 76. And Donnell White got 1 for 8. That must have been on... not sure what that was. Punt returning. Not a great day for either guy. Tyson Kerr still struggles with calling for fair catches when he should. And Jimmy Aldridge, 6 for 29. So special teams doing a job. So those are the numbers on the game. You see the scoring by quarter. And then Sacramento came out with a early 3-0 lead. Then they went up 10-0, and then Orlando started to chip back. Getting 2 field goals. Then they got a third after the half. And then the fourth quarter, everything seemed to be falling in the Miners' favor when Boswell returned an interception and picked off I'm drawing a blank. Kiefer Byrne. It was a pass intended for Donnell White, and Boswell, with his great coverage skills, just stepped in front of the pass, picked it off, took it to the house, and that seemed to be the dagger. It was 17-9 at the time. But then, as the Sentinels' drive stalled out at the 6, backed up at their own end zone, the Miners called for a play-action pass, and Tanner Malone blew the play up in the end zone for a sack and 2 points. So that made it 11-18. And that means that when they had to go for it, they dialed up a big pass to Perry Wood, who left in the air, outleapt a defender, and then ran down the field, broke through 2 or 3 tacklers to get into the end zone to get the 1-point victory. And it came down to the last second where Madison Kruger missed a field goal at the last seconds to seal the victory for the Sentinels. So they come out 9-4 now, pushing for the playoffs, just like Shaq Hennessy promised. And he said, I don't get this team to the playoffs, I will resign. What do you think about that? So, nobody got hurt this game, so that's good news. It was ugly, but they won. So who cares if you win by 40 or by 1, as long as you win. But that was a cardiac moment. You can see the goals accomplished there. Less than 2 turnovers, won a few rushing touchdowns. Didn't run for 150 yards. So, didn't get all the goals on the day. You see how he's doing on the milestones for the season. Needs one more win for the 10 wins. Team passing yards, not quite there yet. Team rushing yards, not quite there. And there's ones that don't look like they're ever going to get done. So, lots of upgrades to look at. A lot of guys had big games. We'll get to that next episode. I just wanted to go over the box score. And let's go over the breakouts. We know that Donnell White did not have a big game. It was not a big passing game. So only 2 for 19. That's not going to get it done. We need 100 yards for 2 touchdowns. I gave it everything I had out there, Coach. But I don't know. Maybe you don't think I'm talented enough to be a number 1 wide receiver. Well, that's remained to be seen. He's only 23 years old. And this is not a great passing attack right now for the Sentinels. And let's see about the linebackers. Did we hold them in check? Nobody has more faith in our offense than I do, but even I'm impressed at how we handled Jarius Edwards. He had a big game anyway. The guy's a beast, but you were right, and we took care of business. So 500 experience for all the quarterbacks. There's only 2 on our team. And the other one, let's see what this one is. Man, Hepburn will not be denied his yards. That guy fights and fights and fights, doesn't he? But at the end of the day, we did our job and we got the win. And that's a huge weight off my shoulders. They held him in check. They didn't give him the ball as much as I thought they would. So that helped. So our entire defensive line is going to get an extra 500 XP, so that's nice. Nice. And, yep, nobody's hurt. They moved to 18 and 17. Let's advance the week and see how everybody else does. We know that Columbus won. Let's check out the standings as soon as we advance to the week. Our next opponent is going to be the Celtic Tigers. And how do they look in the season? They have a winning record at 7-6. And we're going to have something to do with the defensive tackle. That's pretty good. So let's check the standings. Yep, up the top, Columbus Explorers are 10-3, Sentinels 9-4. And the Bulls and Huskies both lose to fall to 6-7. So their seasons, let's see, we got 3 games left. Well, technically speaking, if they win 3 in a row, we lose 3 in a row. Any one of us could go up there and claim maybe a wild card spot. Let's check out the standings total. And again, the Saints are still the best in the NFL, 11-2. The Explorers are challenging, 10-3. There's a lot of 9-4 teams now. Dreadnoughts, Bulldogs, Voyagers, Sentinels. 2 8-5 teams, and the Bisons and Eagles. But let's take a look at divisions. In the North, the Bulldogs look like they're running away with it at 9-4. The Celtic Tigers, we beat them. That pretty much puts a nail in their season, but they may be challenging for a wild card. In the South, it's the Voyagers, followed closely by the Bisons, and right behind them, the Conquistadors. So any team could still win that one. In the East, we've already seen 10-3 Explorers, 9-4 Sentinels, 6-7 Bulls and Huskies. In the West, it's the Dreadnoughts out front, followed closely by the Miners. We put a little hitch in their get along, but they still have an outside chance. Snowhawks and Crusaders look to be out of it. In the NFC North, the Bears pulling away with not really pulling away. They are 7-6. Black Knights 6-1. Vikings 5-8, so they lost 2 in a row now. And the Lions at 3-10. We see the Saints here, 11-2. Buccaneers at 7-6. Falcons 4-9. Panthers 2-10, still at the bottom of the league. Eagles at 8-5 are winning their division, but they're followed closely by the Washington football team and the Cowboys, and even the Giants could still get in there. So nothing's settled there in cement yet. And look at this. In the NFC West, 3 teams tied at 7-6. We got the Seahawks, Elks, Cardinals, and the 49ers bringing up the rear. So that's all I'm going to do in this. I just wanted to go over the box score from the previous week's victory and take a look at the standings. We'll go over college scouting some more, some training, upgrades, maybe and then call that one. And then take another episode to take a closer look at the Celtic Tigers. And, yeah. I think that's going to do it for this one. So thanks a lot, people. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate the subscribers that I've gotten recently. That's nice to see. I didn't expect to really get many. I'm just doing this for my own fun. And if other people are going to enjoy it with me, even better. So I'm going to say goodnight. It's late here for me. I hope you all are finding this video when you are happy, healthy, and I wish the best for you and all your family members and your loved ones and your friends. You all take care. We'll see you in the next one. Good night, everybody.